well. Lovely, lovely sunny day again. So I thought I'd do just a little bit, just a short set with the spiky balls for a bit of muscle release, just how you can incorporate them into a little session. If you haven't got spiky balls, you could use a tennis ball. You could use a golf ball, but that's a bit brutal. And if you haven't got anything that's useful, you could still do the same little routine without them. But ideally, nice spiky balls. You can get them off Amazon for not a lot of money if you haven't got them and you'd like some. If you haven't done any stuff with me before, obviously please be mindful, please listen to your body. If it doesn't feel great, it probably isn't. So maybe check your position. If it still doesn't help, just come away from that exercise, get in touch with me and we'll work out what is going wrong. This is quite a nice gentle one, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. So we're going to start over on our backs. We're going to have one spiky ball under each side of our bottoms. Okay, so just make sure you've got nice length through the back of your neck. You've got a little head cushion if you'd like one. It's much better that your neck's supported and you can relax than sort of be struggling to be flat on the mat. To be fair, I should probably only have one bar. I'm going to treat myself to 2 little cushions today. So one spiky ball each side of your bottom. It doesn't matter too much where they go, as long as they are an equal distance from your midline. So have a little play around and find a sort of suitably tight spot that might benefit from a bit of release. And then once you've got your spiky balls where you would like them, just bring your feet together, step your toes apart and bring your heels in line with your toes. And just have a few deep breaths. Let your body sink down into the floor. Widening across your collarbones. Let those shoulders slide down away from the ears. And then when you're ready, just gently roll the pelvis towards and then away from us a few times. So you should hopefully feel that on those spiky balls you can just roll forwards and backwards a little bit. And then coming into a neutral position. So you can always check your neutral by making that diamond with your hands, popping your thumbs and your belly button fingers down towards your legs. And just check that those hands are completely level. So the spiky balls have lifted your bottom a teeny bit, but it's only really small, so pretty much absolutely level through that diamond of your hands. And just check your ribs are nice and soft and heavy into the mat as well. So we're going to start level 1 hip twist. Breathing out, opening one knee to the side. Breathing in to come back again, and then the other leg. So you might want to pop your hands up on the front of your pelvis. You can just then check what's going on there. Pelvis should be staying completely level, and another way to achieve that is to just focus on keeping the same amount of weight down into each spiky ball all the way through the movement. So just breathing out to open the one knee, breathing in to come back. So just check that the knee, oh, I've got a little message on my phone, I'll have to have a look at that in a second. Just check that the knee that is staying still does stay still and it stays pointing straight up as you move the other knee out. Oh, it just says I've not got much battery. Seems to be a common theme at the moment, but that's okay, we should have enough to get through, so we'll keep going. So just breathing out to open the one knee to the side, breathing in to come back, and then the same on the other side. And you should feel there's a little bit of sort of self-massage going on through those spiky balls. As you move the one knee in and out, you'll feel the muscles under the spiky ball moving gently. So we're going to combine that with a single leg stretch. So next time your knee opens, keep that knee open and slide that foot away. So the leg is still open, but the foot is travelling away on a nice straight line in line with your hip. Once the leg is fully straight, just bring your toes so they're up towards the sky and then slide that leg back in again. So it's a breath out to open the knee, slide that leg away from you, keeping the foot in line with the hip. Then roll so the toes point towards the sky and slide back in again on the in breath. So quite long breaths. Long breath to slide out, long breath to come back in. Opening the knee, sliding the foot away. You might get a little bit of a stretch down the inside of your thigh. You might feel a little bit of a stretch around your hip. Don't push the stretch, just Allow that movement, keeping the pelvis nice and level all of the time, so you still have that equal weight into each of your spiky balls. So a common thing that happens here is when you slide your foot out and away, it actually heads out on a diagonal line away from you. We don't really want that. We want your foot to stay in line with your hip. So you imagine two train tracks, hip width apart, and your feet are just always travelling along those two nice parallel train tracks. Let's go one more each side. Oh, it's like productive sunbathing this, I love it. Okay, so we're going to go into level 1 scissors next. Just breathing out, float that one leg up, breathing in, let it float back down again. And you're just moving from the ball and socket joint at your hip. You can imagine, if you like, that your legs are like a fishing rod with a fishing line. So your thigh is the fishing rod, and then from the knee down is the line. And you want to think about using the handle of your fishing rod to lift that leg up. So right down here is what's working to get that leg to come up, and then controlling back down again. So think about that handle of your fishing rod being deep into your hip. You're using that handle to draw the leg up and then control it back down again. Breathing out to float up, breathing in to come back down. Let's have a little check. Pelvis is staying nice and level, still in neutral, and that doesn't change at all as the leg floats up and gently back down. So you're just creasing at the front of the hip and then opening again. Working on that independent movement through the hip joint without anything else needing to get involved. So next time one foot floats up, we're going to pause. We're going to do some little hip circles. So you're going to imagine you've got a pencil sticking out the top of your knee, and you're just going to draw a circle on an imaginary piece of paper above your knee. So the weight is dropping down through your thigh, through the back of your hip, into that spiky ball under your bottom. And you're just moving your knee around that central point of the spiky ball. So you're just massaging through those thumb muscles. Okay? So you're not only mobilising your hip, you're getting a bit of soft tissue release under your bottom. And then pause, take that circle in the other direction. You want the circle that you're drawing to be about the size of a tea plate, maybe a little bit bigger if you can achieve that with your pelvis still staying nice and still and neutral. It should be easy, smooth circles. And then come back to the centre, we'll let that leg come down. I'll do the same with the other one. So again, just circling that knee with that tea plate size circle, and that centre of the circle wants to be above your spiky ball under your bottom. Really letting the weight of that leg sink down through the back of your hip and into your bottom. And just notice how this side compares to the other side. And then pause, take that circle the other way. Can you still keep your circle nice and smooth, or has it turned into a squircle? And then come back to the centre, and we'll let that leg come down. Okay, so we're going to take take the spiky balls out from underneath your bottom. Just enjoy how nice and flat the floor is for a moment. And then we're going to glue the legs together, and we're going to put our one spiky ball only just in under the side of your bottom. So it's only just trapped in under there. Take the arms a bit wider. You're going to keep your legs glued together. We're going to do a level 3 hip twist. So we're going to breathe out, draw those knees across so all of your weight comes onto that spiky ball. We're going to hold there for a breath in, and we're going to breathe out to release back off and come back to centre. And again, breathing out to roll those knees across, let the weight come onto that spiky ball, pause there for a breath in, breathe out to come back to the centre. So depending on where your spiky ball is, we're going to be working into kind of glute med, piriformis, those sort of rotator muscles in there. And piriformis especially is renowned for getting quite tight, and your sciatic nerve, depending on how you're put together, either runs through or underneath that muscle. So if you are a little bit prone to some sciatic type symptoms down through your legs, it can just be due to the tightness in this muscle, and this is a really nice way to release it a little bit. Now, if you're currently having some problems like that, this is a good thing to do, but just remember that your system, and especially that nerve, is quite sensitized, so do not go too crazy. You might want to stop there and switch sides. It's about getting a nice release without irritating anything. So let's go for one more. Actually, we'll pause. We'll just change the leg position. So if you want to make it stronger, if you've got your spiky ball under the left side of your bottom, take your left leg and just cross it over the right one. Vice versa if you've got your spiky ball under the right side. And then just do the same again. And you'll feel that that's a little bit stronger now. If it's too strong, just go back to legs together. Or if it feels good, use. So we'll just do a couple more. And then come back to centre. And we'll change that ball onto the other side. So it's just underneath the side of your bottom. We'll keep the legs together to start with. Just breathing out to take those knees across. Hold for the in-breath. Breathe out and draw those knees back to the centre. So just moving nice and slowly. You should find a bit of a stretch, a little bit of work through those rotational muscles through the trunk of your body. Holding for the in-breath. Breathing out to come back to centre. Just notice how this side compares to the other side. Very rarely we're exactly the same, both sides. For riders especially, a difference in tightness through those piriformis muscles. You've got one each side that comes from your sacrum across to your hip joint, or your top of your thigh actually, or your thigh bone. They often have imbalances, and that for riders often means that we get a bit of a torsion or rotation in the position of our seat in the saddle. And as you can imagine, for anyone, if you're not quite square through your pelvis, then it's going to set off a lot of different imbalances all the way up and down through the body. Bearing in mind, none of us are completely symmetrical, but we'd like to work towards that as best we can. Okay, so just a few with that other leg crossed over. Oh yeah, much tighter this side. Ouch. Let's go for a few more. Again, so if that's too tough for you with that leg crossed, just come back to knees together. What you should find is as you do this, it gets a little bit easier. The muscle lets go. It's not quite so sore. Okay, let's go for one more. And come back to the centre. Alright, we'll let those legs have a little breather. So we're going to take the spiky balls now, we're going to put them underneath our upper traps. So we're going to stay lying, but you're going to just snuggle them in, just underneath these muscles at the top of the shoulders that come into the base of your neck. And they're the ones that get really tight. You often feel that's where you hold your tension, and that's where you get often a little bit of work done when you go for a massage. So just snuggling those balls just in underneath the top of the shoulders, either side of the neck. And this is quite strong, so again, if you get into this position and you think, really not sure this is good for me, then just don't do too much or leave it alone completely. You could still do the arm movements without your spiky balls there. Okay, so we'll actually have feet as wide as your mat, knees are resting together, so they're nice, legs are nice and relaxed. And then we're going to take the hands up towards the sky. And we're just going to draw little circles with our hands. Think royal wave. As you do that, nice deep breaths, breathing in, filling the body with air, breathing out, just sinking down into the mat. And then just change the direction of those little circles. You can maybe take them a little bit bigger, just notice how that feels through those upper trap muscles underneath your spiky balls and through your shoulders. But we want everything to stay relaxed and easy. Back to the centre with those hands, and we're going to do some scapular isolation. So we're going to breathe in, float those fingertips up towards the sky, breathe out, just let the shoulders sink down. So as you do that, breathing in to float up, breathing out to sink down, you should just feel the pressure through those spiky balls varies a little bit. As you sink down, you might find a bit more pressure into the spiky balls. Breathing in to float up. As you breathe out and sink down, think about widening across your collarbones, widening across the back of your shoulders. Just think about your arms being super heavy, so they just sink those shoulders back towards the mat. One more. Pause there. Now this time we're going to breathe out, keeping those shoulders heavy and wide, and take the hands towards the wall behind you or whatever might be there, and then breathe in and come back up again. So this can be quite strong, so you might not take those hands very far at all. You'll really feel the pressure into those spiky balls increase, and then release as you come back up again. Now if that feels good and comfortable, you can take that into some arm circles. So you're going to breathe out and travel the hands backwards. Breathe in, let the arms come around. And we'll have palms facing each other as the arms travel backwards. Palms up towards the sky as those arms come out and around. So if you're thinking, feeling a little bit sore now, you might want to stop with this, take the spiky balls out, don't really have to do everything. Go one more in this direction. Pause and then take those arms the other way. So down towards the legs, out and around towards whatever's behind you. Breathing out to come up through the middle. Breathing in as those arms go wide and towards whatever might be behind you. For one more, and then let those arms come down, take the spiky balls out from underneath there, and just notice how nice that feels. Okay, so we're going to come up to sit, so just draw your knees in, have a little rock side to side first, and then either roll yourself onto one side, or have a little rock forwards and backwards, and just roll yourself up to sit. So just have a little stretch through those upper neck muscles, upper shoulder, upper traps, neck muscles, you know what I mean, that we've just released. Give them a little stretch there. So you're just going to think about taking one ear towards the shoulder on that side, and try and think about your head staying pointing straight ahead. So there's no twisting and there's no looking up or down, literally keeping your gaze straight ahead, just taking that ear towards the shoulder. And then ever so gently just rest your hand on the top of your head. So you're not pulling, you're just resting. And just find that feeling of stretch down through there. And you might want to take the other arm out to the side just a little bit. And then gently come back to the middle. Take the other ear towards the other shoulder. Again, no looking up or no looking down, just keeping that gaze straight ahead. So you're just side bending through your neck. I'm sure there's a more technical term for that, but just want that side flexion without any rotation or anything else. And again, you can just gently rest your hand on the top of your head, not pulling, just resting. So you just find that stretch down through there. Maybe take that hand out to the side a little. Finally, just imagine you've got a little light shining out the front of your nose, and we're going to draw a circle with that light. So we're going to take it down towards the floor and then come out and around and up and around. So just drawing a nice easy circle with your light shining out of your nose. Take that circle the other way. to make your way up to stand, come over onto hands and knees, tuck the toes under, roll back over those feet, take the hips up towards the spine, maybe stay here for a couple of breaths, see if you can let that head hang towards the mat, let those shoulders draw away from your ears and just notice how they feel. And then when you're ready, bend your knees, drop your tailbone and unroll back up to stand. So I hope you enjoyed that little one, a little bit of release work. As I said, spiky balls are great, so if you haven't got any and you want some, they are available from Amazon. If you want to know which particular ones these are, just drop me a message and I can send you the link. Alright, take care, cheerio!